Do you serge a seam before or after you sew that seam? Let me explain. I'm Suzy Furrer. First of all, let's talk about the serger. The machine is called a serger. The stitch it makes is called an overlock stitch. Sometimes those terms are used interchangeably, so I want to clarify that. So to our question of do you serge before or after you sew a seam? That depends on how you press a seam. If you're pressing a seam open, you are going to cut your pattern, cut your fabric, you are going to serge your edges, and then you're going to sew your seam. If you are going to press your seams to one side, you are going to cut your fabric, you are going to sew your seam, and then you're going to serge the edges together. If you're pressing to one side, you don't want to have the two edges serged separately because when it goes to one side, that's creating too much bulk. You don't need that. You want these seams to act as one. So you're going to serge them together to reduce bulk and to have them kind of move in the same way. They're attached together now.
Hey, sorry for the interruption, but Emily here, and I want to tell you about a super cool offer that I have for you from Craftsy. If you don't know what Craftsy is, it is an online community with resource of millions of creative and like-minded makers where members can find endless inspiration, advance the skills you already have, or discover a new favorite hobby or craft that you've always wanted to try. Craftsy offers more than 2,000 exciting classes in over 20 popular categories, everything from sewing and crochet to baking and painting. The classes are broken down into easy to follow lessons and are led by friendly, award-winning instructors like me who share creativity, wisdom, and provide step-by-step tutorials. I loved Ashley Huff's sewing class on how to sew super cute skirts. I'm not much of a garment sewer myself, but she had so many approachable tips and tricks on how to make this pattern so easy with her instruction. And I also loved Brenda K.B. Anderson's crochet class on how to crochet rainbow home decor because let's be honest, who doesn't love a giant rainbow pillow? She also had some amazing tips on how to turn your work when making curves in crochet. I got so inspired by Heather Thomas's class on creative finishing and edging for her quilt, and she reminded me just how awesome and fun it can be to embellish the finished edges of your quilt. She also taught me a new method for how to make the corners of my quilts even more precise. And a huge thank you to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video. The cool thing is though, as a Craftsy member, you will also have access to live stream tutorials where experts answer questions, share tips, and engage with the Craftsy community in real time, which I absolutely love. So the first 1,000 people to click on the link in the video description will get a full year of premium membership for Craftsy for only $1.49. So click the link below and let's get creative together.
So in thinking of this too, you might think, okay, well, when do I know if I'm going to press open or press to one side? That is determined by the weight of the fabric. Generally, but not always, but generally, if you have a medium to heavyweight fabric, you're going to press those seams open to reduce bulk. If you have a sheer to a lightweight fabric, you're generally going to press those seams to one side because you're going to get a little shadow probably through the fabric. It looks neater, more tailored if those seams are pressed to one side. So that is how you determine whether you are going to serge before you sew the seam or after you sew the seam. You want to keep the knife of the serger away from your garment. So you want to be able to push that fabric this way and then serge, keep that garment away from the knife on the serger. And then if you're serging before you sew, that's really easy to go in with that piece, serge it, and then sew the seam. So the goal is always keep that knife out of the way. All right, so there's your answer of whether you serge before you sew a seam or after you sew a seam.